Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news, questions are being raised how $1 million was approved for a City of Venice project without being approved by the City Council.
This all focuses around the City of Venice's lime pits at Pine Brook Park. That's where we find ABC 7's Christopher Brantley with more details on this project. Christopher?
Good evening. Since the 60s, this part of the park has been closed off by fences and about 50,000 cubic yards of lime, all of it left over from an old water treatment plant.
When we first showed you this area, this is what it looked like. That white substance is lime, a byproduct of an old water treatment facility. This is what that same area looks like today after a $2.5 million project to remove the lime. But it's going to cost more than $3.5 million after a city staffer approved an additional $1 million.
If it's any different than what you're awarded, you need to come to me. I'm the only person that can give an emergency authorization.
Turns out 20,000 cubic yards of more lime was there than anticipated. That made the project up in price. But only the city manager, Ed LaValle, or city council can agree to spend the money. The problem was discovered some months ago, but the higher-ups didn't know.
When they made that determination, that's when they should have come to me and said, here's our situation, in which case it wasn't a crisis then.
It became a crisis this week when City Council was informed. They weren't particularly pleased and asked for an internal review.
I'm looking forward, as I'm sure my colleagues are, into learning what we could have done better in this process.
City Council member Richard Catiro isn't sure if he would have voted to approve the extra $1 million right away because he wanted to know more on why the price went up.
The only thing I do know right now is we had an open pit, we had a contractor on site. It was dangerous to keep that open pit the way it was because it was 14 feet in depth.
The city isn't saying exactly who it is that approved this $1 extra million. We do know that the money came from existing funds from the Utilities Department, and the city is not saying whether any disciplinary actions will be taken against that employee. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. A viral video of a shark being dragged behind a boat finally leads to charges for 3 men. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission wrapping up a 4-month-long investigation this week. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live with the latest on those arrests. Jess?
Scott, FWC investigators say they went through 60,000 pages of evidence in this investigation. That was everything from search warrants to interviews. They also had the help of a 4th man who they say was on the boat the day of these alleged incidents. He was not charged as he investigated and cooperated with authorities. This video was captured in state waters off of Egmont Key in Hillsborough County. After FWC got a hold of the video, the investigation began. Now 3 men have been charged with animal cruelty. 21-year-old Michael Wenzel, 28-year-old Robert Benak, and 23-year-old Spencer Heinz. Benak is the son of Manatee County Commission Chairwoman Betsy Benak. Wenzel, the son of Manatee County Planning Section Manager Robert Wenzel. I tried to speak to both employees at the Manatee County Government Building today and were told both Wenzel and Benak were not in the office. I also went to their homes. No one answered the front doors. The maximum punishment for these men is 5 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine if convicted.
We charged the people for whom we had probable cause that they committed a crime and who we could prove those charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Keep in mind that the state attorney's office in Sarasota had the case initially, and I can't get into their strategy of investigating the case and whether immunity was granted to anyone.
Now, the FWC says their investigation is complete. They also say they are just as disturbed by these videos as the public. Now, coming up at 6, you'll hear from the man that started this entire investigation, Mark the Shark. He's the one that the men sent this video to begin with. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. 3 people are busted after deputies recovered more than 200 grams of an illegal synthetic drug. It happened at a traffic stop at the intersection of US 301 and University Parkway earlier this week. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies say 2 men and a woman were in the vehicle. Deputies say the driver smelled of marijuana and was driving with a revoked license. Deputies searched the truck and found a bag of marijuana. All 3 were arrested and taken to Sarasota County Jail, where deputies say they later found a bag of a synthetic drug called Pentilone commonly sold as MDMA.
Drivers in East Manatee County should expect to see some temporary traffic signals next year. The Florida Department of Transportation plans to place 2 traffic signals on State Road 64 at the intersections with Rye Road and Lorraine Road. The Rye Road signal is expected to be complete by May, and construction for a roundabout will then begin in that area soon after. The traffic signal at the intersection with Lorraine Road should be finished by July, but it will take a while for construction to begin for that roundabout. And a new floating dock is coming to Bradenton Beach across from the Bridge Street Pier, but not before the end of the year. The dock was previously damaged, and the Bradenton Beach Community Redevelopment Agency approved to replace it back in March. But Tropical Storm Emily made that dock unusable. A contractor was set to begin repairs in September, but officials with the city say this year's hurricane season delayed its progress. The docks are now expected to arrive in January and will be installed in the first quarter of 2018.
Well, you had to bundle up if you were up early this morning.
Yes.
It was downright chilly this morning.
Really was, but you know, it's gotten nicer throughout the day.
Let's get a check on our weather now. Steve Newman in for Bob tonight. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, Scott, it was colder a couple of nights ago. It was 40 degrees, and it was like the mid-40s this morning. And we've been showing you this 24-hour temperature change graphic because we've been on this thermal roller coaster for about a week. But hopefully this will be the last day I have to show you this for a while because things are evening out. 12 degrees cooler right now than it was this time yesterday at Tampa, 11 at Sarasota and Bradenton, 10 degrees cooler at Venice. As you go inland, not quite as big a difference, but hopefully that'll be the last time you'll see that for a while because we're starting a warming trend. Winds are going to shift around from the west and south tonight. And that means, of course, we're going to bring in more moisture and humidity and milder temperatures as we move toward the weekend. And I'm kind of teasing that at some point over the weekend we could touch 80 degrees or even surpass it. Nothing on radar. Tonight's lows not down there. I think you can handle temperatures around 52, at least along the coast, but mid-40s inland where the air will be a little drier. And here's your evening planner showing pretty much in the 50s through the evening hours. A little more clouds coming in toward dawn. A look at a meteor shower you can see tonight coming up. Details in just a few minutes. Scott?
Steve, thank you. Sarasota County School Board members vote to reimburse the superintendent so he can hire an attorney in a sexual harassment investigation. That investigation centers around allegations from a school district employee who accused the superintendent, Todd Bowden, of sexually harassing her. Bowden has denied the allegations. It came up when Bowden was vying for the superintendent position back in 2016. Now his accuser has filed a complaint with the district. The board also voted in favor of hiring an outside investigator to look into the allegations. Sarasota County naming its Teacher of the Year this morning. Riverview High School's S. Swihart earning the honor at an award ceremony at the Westin in Sarasota. She's the one on the right there. Swihart will go on to represent Sarasota County at the statewide Teacher of the Year event next year and will receive a $2,500 cash award. This year's finalists were Bethany Burnett of Venice Elementary and Allison Cohen of Booker Middle School. By the way, this is the second straight year Riverview educator has won Teacher of the Year honors.
The Sarasota County Commission has set tentative priorities for 2019's budget. The program focusing on the following issues. They plan to allocate funds to add capacity, bicycle lanes, and sidewalks to River Road. Sarasota County is also designing a county-wide fiber optic network for better internet access in government, the development of a long-term solution for a national flood insurance program, the development of community programs that will help the homeless population, and they also want to allocate funds to tourism attractions like extending the Legacy Trail. Other priority funding will go toward health and human services, such as funding for the Zika virus and finance and taxes.
An analysis of Venice's water quality confirms the water is safe to drink. It also found the water quality is fully compliant with all federal rules. A report released earlier this year by an environmental work group raised questions about the city's ability to keep a safe drinking water supply, but it later backtracked, saying the city was not in violation of any health-based standards. Sampling of city water was completed by Test America Laboratories, and those results found the city's water supply is safe to consume. So drink up. Still to come in your Suncoast News, amidst multiple sexual harassment allegations involving politicians, Florida Governor Rick Scott takes action here in this state.
And meteorologist Steve Newman will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, no need to fret about germs if you plan on traveling this holiday season. We'll have some helpful tips on how you can keep you and your family healthy. That story coming up next.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an experienced broadcast engineer to provide technical support for all broadcast equipment. TV broadcast background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
In one of the most hotly contested races in recent history, Democrat Doug Jones making history in Alabama last night. What does his win mean for the rest of the nation, and will his Republican challenger Roy Moore concede? ABC's Lana Zach has more from Montgomery, Alabama.
In Alabama, Democrat Doug Jones is celebrating his unlikely victory.
The people of Alabama have spoken.
Jones is the first Democrat in 25 years to be elected to the Senate from Alabama, besting Republican Roy Moore, who remained defiant last night, not yet conceding his loss.
And realize when the vote is this close that it's not over.
Moore's campaign was beset by multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, including sexual assault of 2 teenagers. Moore has denied the allegations, but the Jones campaign saw a tremendous boost by female voters, especially those with young children. But many political watchers saw in this campaign not only a flawed Republican candidate, but a greater referendum on President Trump and the Republican majority.
This means that Congress is officially in play. Democrats will have a shot to take over the United States Senate.
Democratic Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called on Republicans today to hold off on a vote on the tax bill until Jones is sworn in.
It would be wrong for Senate Republicans to jam through this tax bill without giving the newly elected senator from Alabama the opportunity to cast his vote.
But the president, who congratulated Jones on his victory, plans to push forward with tax reform as soon as possible.
As the leader of the party, I would have liked to have had the seat. I want to endorse the people that are running, but I will tell you that to me, it's very, very important to get this vote.
Moore still isn't talking about conceding today, but Republicans here in Alabama say they believe this race is over. And when Jones is seated in the Senate, Democrats will control 49 seats, Republicans 51. Given the razor-thin margins we've already seen in Congress, that may just tip the balance of power. Reporting from Montgomery, Lana Zach, ABC News.
In the midst of a scandal shaking up the Florida Senate, Governor Rick Scott has ordered state agency heads to adopt a sexual harassment policy. It requires training for workers and lays out procedures for reporting and investigating complaints. Scott issuing an executive order today detailing the steps that agency heads must immediately take to address the issue of sexual harassment as the Senate conducts twin investigations into allegations of sexual misconduct by Senator Jack Latvala. Scott hopes his order will streamline how all harassment claims are handled in state government.
Basically, for all our executive agencies, has a reporting process, an investigation process, a training process. All of it is do everything we can to protect people that work in state government.
Most recently, a high-ranking Senate aide accused Latvala of groping her on several occasions and making unwelcome comments about her body over the past several years. Latvala, a Clearwater Republican who's running for governor, has maintained that he did not touch the accuser or any other woman inappropriately.
All right, let's talk about our chilly weather.
Oh, it's not that cold.
Yeah, come on. 45
For
this morning?
Floridians, it's a little chilly.
Cooler earlier this morning, but it's over with. It's over. We can look for the weekend, and even toward Christmas, I think we've got some decent weather coming our way. Take a look at our tower cam from right atop our studios here, looking toward the Gulf of Mexico. Mainly fair skies, a few high clouds from time to time, but it looks like a beautiful sunset just about to happen at 5:38 this afternoon will be the official time. Currently at the airport, it is 59 degrees, dew point 46, but that's going to moisten up as we move through the evening hours. Humidity 62% with that northwest wind that's going to switch to a southerly direction overnight. That should give you a clue that it's going to get more moist, probably some more clouds, which is what we'll see tomorrow and Friday. But looking right now, there's some high clouds passing overhead, and I don't think there's really too much in the way, even though we got a lot of clouds coming at us from back over on this side of the Gulf of Mexico rushing our way. I don't think they're going to obscure the sky tonight enough to keep you from being able to see what could be a spectacular meteor shower. The Geminid meteor shower occurs at this time of year, and it has a history of producing fireballs and maybe one meteor a minute on average. It could be spectacular if you want to get out and watch it tonight. It radiates from the constellation Gemini, and a lot of people can find that by looking for Orion, those 3 stars in a row. That's Orion's belt that we'll see after sunset if you look east. There's Betelgeuse, which is a red star, and then if you look for Castor and Pollux, that will identify Gemini, the constellation, and that's where the meteors will radiate, and the best time from about 9 o'clock until dawn. Hope we have good weather for that, and I think we will. Across the nation, there's that cool air and another snowstorm. It's an Alberta clipper. We've had a series of Alberta clippers because they come from the prairies, and they speed. They rush across the Great Lakes and off to the northeast, and that's what we've had this week. And we got one more right over us right now, at least up in the Great Lakes. 36 in Chicago, 18 in Toronto. Boy, Canada's getting some really bone-chilling cold this week, but I think temperatures are going to warm up a little bit through the southern half of the nation for the next few days. Now, our Suncoast weather headlines, we will have weather not quite as cold tonight. I think we're not going to get below 50, at least right along the coast. Interior areas could get in the mid to upper 40s. More clouds coming in as that atmosphere moistens up. And then by Sunday, we could be in the low 80s. That's beach weather to me. Here's our futurecast showing those clouds from time to time, but clear overnight for the meteor shower. Then it thickens up. Now, don't be alarmed by these green patches. I think the model, the RPM computer model, is overblowing this as we move into Friday. If we get anything, maybe a sprinkle here and there, but you're going to notice more clouds is the biggest effect of that wind shift and the approaching cold front. This cold front comes from the way other side of the country. It's dragging in Pacific air, and it's been moderated by a landmass that's fairly mild right now. So when it passes by, no big deal. But we have another one coming in late in the weekend for early next week. So here's the weekend forecast, and here comes another front on Monday. I think this rain won't make it either. So there's a chance, maybe 40% chance of rain coming in on Monday, but all in all, dry weather and a great weekend coming up. And not a bad night either. Clear, not as cold, with our low temperature 50. The average for this time of year is 55, so still a little cooler than normal, but I think tomorrow night will be pretty close to normal. Our wind switching to southwesterly and then southerly overnight, about 5 miles an hour. And tomorrow, partly cloudy day, but the clouds could thicken as the day goes on, high 72. And here's your 7-day outlook showing warming up to 81, Scott, Jacqueline, by Sunday with mostly sunny skies. I like that forecast.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. Now to First Alert traffic. We're seeing some backup on the interstate. As you head north, this is in Manatee County between State Road 70 and State Road 64. You can see a lot of red on the map, so slow going. But once you get past 64, things clear up. Jacqueline?
Scott, thank you so much. In health news tonight, it's the end of the year and a good time to spend your vision plan's yearly allowance toward a new pair of glasses or contacts. Here's Andrew Spencer with more.
Use it or lose it. Most vision insurance plans entitle you to a yearly eye exam. With that, you're also paying for an annual allowance or discount toward eyewear or contact lenses. However, most plans do not roll that allowance over to the new year. You're paying for it, so you might as well use it. According to the Centers for Disease Control, people with vision loss are more likely to experience depression, diabetes, falls, and premature death. So it is important for your overall health to visit an optometrist and to know your family's eye health history. You can also maintain your sight by eating right. We've all heard that carrots are good for your eyes, but so are dark leafy greens. Protective eyewear is also important. The sun's ultraviolet rays can cause permanent damage. And it's also important to rest your eyes. Try the 20-20-20 rule at work. Every 20 minutes, look away about 20 feet for 20 seconds. And this exercise can help reduce eye strain. For today's Health Minute, I'm Andrew Spencer.
Before traveling for the holidays, health experts suggest planning ahead to make sure your family remains safe and healthy. The first step is doing your research. Find out about any health concerns at your destination and plan accordingly. Prepare and pack a travel health kit with anything that you might need, including medicines, sunscreen, and bug bite protection. If you plan to leave the U.S., you should also check with your health insurance provider about international coverage. You might even consider getting additional insurance for medical care and emergency evacuations, especially if you're going somewhere remote. Well, 2017 is a life-changing year for one man in Ohio. Travis Wells wanted to find a solution for his severe neck deformity. Several neurosurgeons and pain specialists told him there was no hope and he would have to live with a deformed neck forever, viewing everything horizontally. But he met Dr. Kamal Woods, who took the risk and completed the first surgery of his kind, which came with many risks as well. 12 hours later, Wells woke up and he is now able to look people in the eyes once again. Coming up, multiple wildfires growing larger and larger in California, how fire officials are working to put out those flames. And an injured manatee is back to swimming freely, how a Miami aquarium was able to nurse her back to health, and where she is now swimming off the Florida coast.
For 30 years, it's been an honor for the Michaels on Ice team to serve you.
We love that our restaurant, wine cellar, and ballroom have become your favorite gathering places, and we love catering your parties.
From everyday celebrations to life's greatest occasions, please join us soon for new culinary adventures. A toast to 30 years.
And to many more.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The perfect musical for the holidays is live on the Players Center stage. Packed with the big band sounds from World War II, the 1940s Radio Hour is our boogie-woogie bugle boy answer to the holiday blues. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. The Players Wild Broadway series wishes you a Merry Christmas with the 1940s Radio Hour.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
In California, the Thomas Fire now stretching from Fillmore to Santa Barbara County. When it's too smoky, pilots don't take flight, but during the day, millions of gallons of water and flame retardant is being dropped from the air and also being sprayed from specialized trucks. The effort has not gone unnoticed.
I think the firemen and the first responders and everything, you got to give them a lot of credit, but it just totally amazes me. The pilots, the helicopter pilots and the big fire retardant pilots, those guys really earn their pay. They really do.
Residents are being protected by a record number of firefighters on what already ranks in the top 4 largest wildfires in the state of California. And deputies at a Nevada prison are being credited with saving an inmate who jumped from a second-floor balcony. You can see the inmate at the top of your screen as he climbs over the railing at Nye County Detention Center. One deputy runs up the stairs to try and stop him, but the inmate manages to jump anyway. Another deputy watching from below caught him, cushioning his fall. The deputy and inmate were both taken to the hospital to be checked out, and neither were injured. Officials at Nye County Detention Center say the inmate was suicidal.
New prosthetic technology makes it possible for this amputee to play the piano. Jason Barnes' right arm was amputated after a traumatic work accident in 2012. The musician now uses a bionic hand created by Georgia Tech researchers to play. It uses ultrasonic sensors connected to his remaining muscles that detect impulses. An algorithm translates the information to predict which fingers Jason is trying to move. That allows Jason to control each prosthetic finger individually. A rehab manatee is now back in the ocean off the coast of Miami. The Miami Seaquarium helping rehabilitate the female manatee in its Manatee Rescue and Rehabilitation Partnership. Nabu, as she was named, has been under the Seaquarium's care since August after she was hit by a boat, suffering a rib fracture and punctured lungs. But now the 1,000-pound manatee is all healed up and reuniting with her other manatee friends.
Nabu is ready for release. She has passed all our dive testing. She's put on weight while she's been here, and she's all healed, so she's ready to go.
Nabu was released yesterday in the same area in which she was rescued.
I like her name. Nabu.
Nabu. Yeah, it sounds like it should be in a, an animated feature.
Right, like the Jungle Book or something.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, still to come on your Suncoast News, the holidays can be a stressful time of year, but this year may be even more difficult for families impacted by Hurricane Irma.
And the suspect in Monday's attempted suicide bombing in New York City makes his first appearance in court when his wife shares how her husband acted just hours before the attack.
This holiday season, share the greatest gift of all, peace of mind. Subaru is rated the safest and most dependable automotive brand, and all Subaru models with EyeSight are a 2017 IIHS top safety pick. Now during the Subaru Share the Love event, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
It's time to take a road trip. Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel. Which one you gonna take?
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.